Greetings and welcome to another installment of Travel News Weekly by Turnpikes.com for August 17th, 2024, covering Florida and North America's toll roads. We start with our travel alerts this week. Florida's Turnpike is closing in Palm Beach County overnights again this week as construction on a turnpike widening project continues. That project has been happening in segments across the entirety of Florida's Turnpike. For West Palm Beach, the road closes between Jog Road and Okeechobee Boulevard all week, alternating between northbound and southbound lanes. Northbound Florida's Turnpike closes Monday and Wednesday nights, while southbound will close Tuesday and Thursday nights. Again, this happens between Okeechobee Boulevard and Jog Road. That puts the closure between mile markers 98 and about 101, and those closures happen between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. in Palm Beach County. In Miami-Dade County, specifically in the Homestead area, you'll find Florida's Turnpike closed overnights Wednesday and Thursday this week. Northbound between Southwest 288th Street and 112th Avenue in Alapata, this is exits 5 to 9A. Those closures happen between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., again on Wednesday and Thursday nights this week for Miami-Dade. Shifting to gas prices, the cost of fuel pushed slightly higher for most of us in the past week, with chaos and uncertainty surrounding the Strait of Hormuz and the ongoing U.S. military clash with Iran. As of Monday morning, the American Automobile Association was reporting the national average cost of a gallon of regular unleaded had dipped during the overnight hours to about $4.06, but that figure is up from last week when prices were hovering right around the $4 per gallon threshold. In Florida, the statewide average is below that $4 figure, but by no means does that hold true on a county-by-county basis in the Sunshine State. Monroe County, which is home to Key West, and Palm Beach County are both still seeing prices hover above the $4 per gallon mark, while folks in Pensacola and Escambia County on the border with Alabama are enjoying Florida's lowest prices per gallon of fuel. The cost of diesel is not moving at the same pace as regular gas. According to the latest figures from AAA as of Monday, they show the cost of a gallon of diesel went up significantly in the U.S. last week, and unlike gasoline, prices did not trickle downward overnight Sunday to Monday morning. Currently, the AAA reports a gallon of diesel is running at just under $5.45 per gallon, which is about where it was on Sunday, but that is nearly 15 cents per gallon higher than at this time last week. Putting that into perspective, a diesel rig with a 200-gallon fuel capacity will cost an extra $30 to fill up this week versus last, and if you have twin 150s, that's a 300-gallon fuel supply. The added cost is $45 per fill-up. Shifting gears back to construction, no pun intended, we look at plans for future construction, specifically across the booming Central Florida region and in Polk County, where the Florida Department of Transportation is ready to hold a trio of meetings to discuss additional plans for new toll roads in the Lakeland area, which will connect with Orlando Metro to the north and run south of Lake Hamilton to near Waverly, Florida in the south. A series of public hearings is on tap next week in Haines City on Tuesday and in Davenport on Thursday, with a virtual public hearing set for Monday at 6 p.m. The in-person meetings in Haines City and Davenport do not require registration, but the virtual presentation for Monday evening does require that you register, which you can do by following the QR code here or visiting the registration site. The overarching plans call for a series of extensions to the Polk Parkway on the east side, which would sit to the east of the Parkway in Lakeland and connect to the south end of Orlando Metro to both Haines City and Davenport, with various additional segments connecting to just a few miles north of Lake Wells at US 27 near Waverly. You can also check our social media pages for a complete list of those meeting times and locations, as well as to find links to register for the public hearing online if you cannot attend the in-person hearings. Heading out of Florida, we head to Kansas, where the chief executive officer of the Kansas Turnpike posted pictures in the past week of the demolitions happening at the Emporia service area of the Kansas Turnpike. You'll recall we told you the plaza services were shutting down for a rebuild of that plaza, although you can still stop for gas and to use a bathroom. The KTA's Steve Hewitt posted pictures of the demolition that got underway in earnest as authorities prepare to construct a slick new travel center that will be operated by Fast and Friendly. Updated renderings of the new plaza were unveiled the last week of July, and if all goes well, that new plaza will be opening in the fall of 2027. Between now and then, Kansas will be raising tolls as part of its long-term investment and upgrade plans. In fact, there will be 3 years' worth of toll increases coming down the pike, as it were. The first one starting September 1st and continuing each year through 2028, although revisions could still be in the offing. The first increases will be a 3% toll hike on passenger cars and smaller trucks, that's anything with 4 axles or less, and a 4% increase on rigs and haulers, that's anything with 5 axles or more. Specific tolls have not been unveiled just yet, but those are expected to be released any day because that first toll increase in Kansas is coming on September 1st. That'll be the first time they've increased their tolls there, by the way, since 2022. Finally, this week, we travel back to the Gordie Howe International Bridge, the newest crossing between Detroit, Michigan and Windsor, Ontario, where officials there say more than 40,000 people traversed the bridge in just the first 5 days of operation. The bridge opened this summer following a series of politically motivated delays that prevented the bridge being opened earlier in the year. What new politics could impact the bridge? Well, according to at least one Canadian media outlet, duplicate charges. CBC News Canada did not have specific figures, but the news agency quoted a spokesman for the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority who stated the agency is aware of some double charges reported by some travelers. CBC spoke with at least one driver who noted that duplicate charges appeared for the trip from the U.S. into Canada. In the meantime, drivers using the Gordie Howe Bridge are encouraged to double-check their credit or debit card statements to make sure they have not been double-billed. We'll bring you an update of this story as it becomes available. That will wrap up our journey for the moment, but we thank you for watching and listening once again and remind you to avoid distracted driving. I'm Danny Pryor reporting for Turnpikes.com, the Turnpike Authority.